Detective Arjun Malik had heard the stories, the whispers among the townsfolk about the cursed highway. The stretch of road that no one dared to drive at night. The telephone booth standing like a sentry on the side of the road had become infamous. For months, cars had been found abandoned in the middle of the highway, their drivers mysteriously missing. No trace of struggle, no signs of foul play, just empty vehicles left to haunt the road in the early morning light. Each report read the same: the vehicle would break down near the telephone booth, and by the time morning arrived, the driver would be gone. No footprints, no fingerprints, no evidence at all. The local police had exhausted their resources investigating the incidents, but nothing ever led to a breakthrough. Arjun was a seasoned detective with a sharp mind and a calm demeanor. He didn't believe in the supernatural, but he couldn't ignore the facts either. Something was happening on that highway, and it was his job to find out what. Late one night, he drove his car down the deserted highway, his eyes scanning the road ahead. The wind howled through the trees, and the darkness seemed thicker, more oppressive than usual. He approached the infamous telephone booth, a relic from another time, standing eerily alone on the side of the road. Its weathered paint and dusty windows gave it a forgotten look, as if it hadn't been used in years. Yet, it was the epicenter of all the strange occurrences. As he neared the booth, Arjun's car began to sputter. He felt the engine choke, the lights flickered, and with a final gasp, the car died completely. He frowned, checking the dashboard, but everything seemed in order. His eyes darted to the telephone booth. The road was empty, silent save for the occasional rustle of leaves in the wind. Arjun stepped out of the car, the crunch of gravel under his boots echoing in the stillness. He scanned the surroundings, but there was no sign of anyone, no movement, no shadows lurking in the darkness. And then, the phone rang. The sharp, shrill sound cut through the quiet night, startling Arjun. He turned to face the booth, his heart racing. The phone shouldn't be working. There hadn't been a working landline connected to that booth in years. Yet, there it was, ringing insistently as if demanding his attention. Arjun approached the booth cautiously. He looked inside, empty. The ringing continued, relentless and eerie. He hesitated for a moment, then reached out and picked up the receiver. "Hello," he said, his voice steady despite the tension coiled in his chest. There was a long pause on the other end, just the sound of static crackling through the line. Arjun waited, his grip tightening on the receiver. Then, a voice, a soft, almost inaudible whisper, came through. "Help me." Arjun's breath caught. "Who is this? Where are you?" The static grew louder, the voice fading in and out as if it were struggling to be heard. "I'm trapped, can't leave." "Trapped where?" Arjun demanded, glancing around the deserted road. "Where are you?" Suddenly, the line went dead. Silence filled the air once more, the oppressive weight of it pressing down on Arjun. He hung up the phone, his mind racing. Who had called him? Where were they trapped? And how was the phone even working? He stepped out of the booth, and that's when he noticed something strange. The air around him had grown colder, unnaturally so. His breath fogged in front of him, and a shiver ran down his spine. Arjun's instincts screamed at him to leave, to get out of there before whatever force was at play claimed him too. But he couldn't. Not yet. Not until he understood what was happening. Gathering his courage, he took out his flashlight and shone it around the area. The light cut through the darkness, revealing nothing but the empty road and the dense trees lining the highway. Yet, the feeling of being watched persisted, as if unseen eyes were observing his every move. Then, out of the corner of his eye, he saw something, a figure standing in the distance, just beyond the reach of his flashlight. It was a silhouette, tall and motionless, watching him from the shadows. "Who's there?" Arjun called out, stepping toward the figure. But as soon as he took a step forward, the figure vanished, dissolving into the night as if it had never been there at all. Arjun stopped, his pulse quickening. He wasn't alone on that highway, and whatever was out there wasn't human. He knew he needed to leave, but as he turned back toward his car, the phone rang again. This time, the ringing was more urgent, more desperate. He hesitated for only a moment before rushing back to the booth and picking up the receiver. The voice on the other end was barely a whisper now, faint and fragmented. "You have to stop, it's coming." "What's coming?" Arjun asked, his voice tense. "What is this?" But the line went dead once more. The phone clicked, the dial tone humming in his ear. Arjun hung up, his mind racing. He didn't know what was coming, but he had a feeling he didn't want to find out.